I miss Matt Damon. Ow! Alright, Hawkeye, don't hit me with any of your arrows! Okay, this is Big Guy Movie Reviews. If you like this review, please hit the subscribe button. There's a Blip. There's a link below to the Blip TV review, the same review of this film with trailer footage. My Facebook link is also below, and let's get on with this review. Now, I've done my previous reviews for the Bourne Trilogy, Bourne Identity with Dr. Cool on his channel. Bourne Supremacy was done on my channel with Dr. Cool. And Bourne Ultimatum was done back on his channel with me. And now here is the Bourne Legacy. This is one of the free posters that the movie theater was giving away for the movie. This was a good movie. It wasn't one of the best of the Bourne series, but it was pretty good. Now, the background behind this movie is that he first pitched this movie to Matt Damon, and the main character was originally going to be Jason Bourne, but Matt Damon turned it down. He said the script was not good. So they rewrote it to not have Matt Damon in it, and for it to have Jeremy Renner's character, Aaron Cross, which probably would make you, the fact that Matt Damon turned it down makes you think, oh, is something wrong with this movie? And not only that, Paul Greengrass is not directing this film, the guy that directed the last two Bourne films, Supremacy and Ultimatum. This one is Tony Gilroy. I believe Tony Gilroy wrote the scripts for Ultimatum and Supremacy and Identity. He wrote the scripts for the last three Bourne films, so he ended up directing this film. And he does a pretty good job. It doesn't have any entirely the same feel as the previous Bourne films. Of course, this is an entirely different movie with an entirely different character. So you have to accept that. You have to accept the fact that Matt Damon is not in this film. But at the same time, this gives a lot of nods to the fact that Matt Damon is out there, Jason Bourne is out there, that it does not let you forget that this is a Bourne film. You see Jason Bourne scratched on a wall in a place where Aaron Cross is staying the night, and you see Matt Damon's picture in the background when you hear that Jason Bourne is in Manhattan. David Strathairn is in this movie, who was from the previous two films. Joan Allen, who plays Pamela Landy, she's in this film for a little while, and she was in the past two films also. The first scene from the movie, from the Bourne Legacy, is the last scene from Bourne Ultimatum, where you see Jason Bourne wounded and he's in the water. You think he's dead, and then he swims away, showing that he's still alive. They show that, and then they show a cut to Aaron Cross coming out of the water and from being, I guess he's in the wilderness doing some hunting or something. I think it's like in the Alaskan wilderness or somewhere. And the plot of this film. The movie is good in its own way. It does try to do its own thing a little bit. The plot is that Aaron Cross is running low on the medication that Treadstone gives him, blue and green pills, and he's trying to get more, and he's running away from Treadstone. One of the Treadstone officials, played by Edward Norton, Eric Breyer, Colonel Eric Breyer, a retired colonel. He tried to clean up the mess that Treadstone left behind with Jason Bourne and everything. And what this means, so Treadstone's not uncovered. And what that means is he starts killing off some of the leftover agents that were in Treadstone. And this is not really much of a spoiler, because you see this in the trailer. You see some of the people that worked for Treadstone with blood coming out of their noses in the trailer. You just don't know how they got killed, and I don't want to give away that. If you decide to see this movie, I don't want to give away that particular spoiler. One of the ways they do try to kill people, they use drones the same way, the same drones that are used in Pakistan in the Middle East. They are using the same drones in this movie. So it does bring that Big Brother feel into this film that the government's about to get to. Man, I hate those darn drones. But it is good that they use them in this movie. The drones were used to try to kill Aaron Cross and one other agent. And there are times when the action does take a very long time to start. There's a lot of talking in this film, talking to establish story. And it's good to have a story and action. You have to have a good balance of the two for a good action film. But this has more talking than action. The action sequences are great when they get there, but there's a lot more talking, and you need more action to be a Bourne film. I don't want it to be so much action like it was in Safe House, where there was so much action going, and it's like your heart was pounding for the whole darn thing, but you didn't get a moment of relief in order to hear the story of what was going on. But I also don't want so much talking, like, where's the action? Now here's the action. Cool, great action. And then we're back to talking, like talking, get the story out. Then it's like, oh, can we get back to the action now again? You have to have a good balance of the two in order to have a good action film. And that's one of the problems with this movie. It had more talking and not enough action. It's very hard also in this movie to tell where the flashbacks begin and where you get back to present time. And because for a lot of this movie, I was a little bit confused at what point. Are we in a flashback? Oh no, we're back in present time. Oh, we're in a flashback now. Okay, so it was confusing, and I hated getting confused that way. Other actors, Scott Glenn is back from the previous trilogy. Urza Kramer, and Rachel Weisz is our leading lady, Dr. Marta Schuring, and she's one of the doctors in Treadstone. Apparently, Edward Norton sends someone to kill the doctors that work for Treadstone that supplied the medication, and Marta almost gets killed but survives. Again, this is not a spoiler, it's in the trailer. Luckily, during one of the scenes where they try to kill her, Aaron Cross saves her, and they end up getting together, and there are some scenes where they have good chemistry. There are some scenes that kind of have bad chemistry. I guess the chemistry begins to build a bit, and it takes a little while for them to get the chemistry to work, to get going. And the movie is very good. The action is very good, but for a lot of the film, you realize that this character is, you don't really feel like Aaron Cross is in jeopardy too much, because even when he gets shot in one of the scenes, he doesn't really act like the shot really matters to him. He just keeps on moving. You know, he's almost too superhuman, and sometimes maybe a little bit hard to connect to him. I do like the fact that he asks a lot of questions in the movie. It does show that he's not a compliant soldier, that he is someone that has his own mind and not afraid to speak up when necessary. I do like the fact that we get to see someone going through the Treadstone program from another point of view in this film with Aaron Cross. I like the fact that they show how he gets into the program and a little bit of how he gets into the program. And that is very good. But yeah, the action's very good. One of the scenes, Edward Norton sends a guy that is another Treadstone-like operative, another assassin, to go after Aaron Cross and Marta Schuring while they're trying to get the medication and for Aaron, because he needs it in order to stay alive and everything. And this guy moves like Aaron, runs across the building just like Aaron, and that really gets the tension going, it got my heart pounding a little bit. And I really did like this movie. Not as much as Ultimatum, or maybe almost as much as the first film. Not as much. I mean, this film really could have used a little bit more action and not as much talking, or not as much story building. I am hoping for a movie where, now that we have Aaron Cross introduced, that Aaron Cross and Jason Bourne will be in together, and Matt Damon and Jeremy Renner, and they either be working together. It looks like they're, since Treadstone is going after Aaron Cross, that obviously Aaron Cross and Jason Bourne, if they were to be put into the same film, that they would have to work together in order to fight against the officials of Treadstone. I would like to see that movie a lot. That would be a brilliant film, an awesome kick-ass film. We get two Treadstone guys going after the government, two former Treadstone guys going after the officials of Treadstone, who are trying to protect themselves from Treadstone. That would be of times when you get to the fourth film, it tends to die down a little bit, and it's hard to keep up the same intensity as the previous films. So I have to give this a 8 out of 10. I really want a bit more action, but I mean, this doesn't feel like a 7. I feel like if I give it a 7, I'm underrating it, but I feel an 8 is good. Yeah, I would recommend going to see the Bourne Legacy if you wanted to see a pretty good Bourne film. But I think in order to really enjoy this one, you have to accept the fact that Matt Damon is not the main character, that it is an entirely different character. And try not to compare him to Matt Damon, try to let him be his own man and do his